Almost died in here. Right. Oh my God.
Already up?
Yes, we should be.
I won't know because I don't have a phone
I
today.
know. I mean, you can grab it in a second. You know what I mean? You know. Right.
You about to pull it up on that.
I'm about to pull it up here. Cash probably going the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, it should refresh or whatever should pop up. Yeah, don't click the one from before. Peace, y'all.
What up? We are finally
Sorry.
here.
Yeah, so we hope.
Okay,
Right, there you go.
We in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Let's be back on the board. Good.
yeah, we should be fine. All right. So peace, everybody. You can turn the joint down, so. Yeah, man. Peace, everybody. Substantial Sundays.
Finally.
Yeah. Hey, it's been a fight to get back. It's a new location, which means, you know, new challenges, you know what I mean? Different look, but same old antics with your boys, you know what I mean? So peace, my name is Substantial. Welcome to Substantial Sundays. This is my brother from another mother, my man Jay Cash. And this is my other brother from another mother, motherfucker. This is Sherm the Barber.
Oh, hi.
Right. And yo, happy New Year. This is our first show back since being in
First one,
2020.
2020.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we are excited. So welcome to Substantial Sundays. If it's your first time. Oh, Sherm, what you do, Sherm?
I put it on
Sherm messing
YouTube.
up intro music. You know what I'm saying?
Turn YouTube
He's like,
on.
I'm trying to watch the video. It's cool.
I was trying to share the joint, but I
It's-
guess I won't be sharing tonight.
I mean, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? We're just judgment free.
had to see
No, you can go
myself.
ahead and do that. We can stop. Go ahead and stop the music. Go ahead and handle what you got to handle, brother. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. So welcome back. You know, it's definitely, man. It's good to be back, man. You know, it's a lot to catch up on and stuff. I'm pretty sure y'all had a lot going on. I know I had a lot going on. So yeah, fellas, how you doing? How you been? What's the good word? You know what I'm saying? Talk to the people.
I'm good.
Cash?
Been busy.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it. Basketball season in full effect.
that's what's up.
Yeah. So that's all I really got.
Okay, all right. How's the family? You know what
They
I'm saying?
good. They good.
You
Yeah.
them, the babies. The
Yeah,
babies,
they're good. Jordan's an inspiring superstar basketball wise. So
Got you.
we had 2 games already. We already 2-0.
That's what's up.
First one he dropped
Yeah.
10, or second one he dropped, I think. I want to say 8.
Okay.
Yeah, low scoring games though. So I know I say 8, and it's like, well, that's not really doing much.
Right.
Like when you only score 31.
Yeah, I mean, eight's a big part of that 31, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So
Yeah.
he's good.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, Sherm, what's going on with you, man?
Nothing much, man. Just kids, family, work. Nothing real extravagant, man.
Yeah.
Nothing extraordinary happening since our last show.
Right. Right.
Yeah, just old guys, man.
Yeah. Pretty much, man. Look,
Yeah, happy birthday. Happy belated.
oh, thank you. Yeah,
Oh,
to
yeah,
us
appreciate
both.
it, yeah.
Got Team Cap over here.
Yeah.
Capricorns. Yeah, man. I want to say, for me, things have been busy but low key. You know what I mean? Like, the family been fighting all type since the new year. So one, I think we're about to go 100% plant-based. So that's probably the biggest change. Shell's been about like 90% plant-based since the new year. You know what I mean? You know, I'm trying to finish up the last of, we got a little bit of dairy left in the house, and we just finished the last of the fish that we had. But I think, and I mean the whole squad. So what happened was New Year's Day, which is also Haitian New Year, like my wife got like super sick. And I mean, before she even had any food that day, she wasn't feeling great. Like she was all right. But then, like after she had some food that day, had some fish and some other things, she got like super sick, like the super stomach virus. And she was just like, I'm gonna just go plant-based. You know what I mean? At least for a couple weeks, kind of cleanse and just see how I feel. course, she like feeling wonderful right now. And so like my plan was to go plant-based at the beginning of the year too, but like I said, we're trying to clear out what we got, throwing out what don't really need to be there at all, and then finishing off the little stuff. But yo, so like after she got sick, so Destiny barely eats chicken. Like she barely eats any poultry, barely eats fish because we only have fish like once or twice a week. Yo, we pick her up from daycare, projectile vomiting, like just like spraying the car. You know what I mean? It's a new whip, man. Like just spraying the whole joint. This is no, baby, you okay? Oh my God, look at the car, baby, you okay? Like it was nasty.
That's funny, but not funny.
Yo, it was crazy. So we in that joint panicking. We got run back in the daycare. We grabbing a bunch of stuff. Long story short, I go to check the joint because I see her meals. I got an app. I see everything where up for daycare. So I see her meal. Sure enough, they gave her chicken that day. Now we didn't tell them she don't eat chicken. We just say that like she can't have raw dairy, she can't have nuts, and limit how much poultry. But sure enough, they gave her chicken salad that day, and that joint was just she was just down whole weekend. She finally get better. It's your boy turn. Then I get sick, right? Like, dog, then I get better. Serenity got sick. So, needless to say, man, we just cutting, and it was wild because the day Serenity got sick, well, what she had chicken. She had chicken lo mein or something like that. So, man, again, it could just be something like all of us had or whatever, might not even be the poultry, but needless to say, since we've been real strict with the diet and stuff like that, everybody feeling a bit better, you know what I mean? So that's what's been it's been like the exorcist in our crib, you know what I mean?
Right. It's been start the new year.
Yeah, so I mean it's been great we haven't been having the show because the show would have been very different. Like running off to the bathroom, it'd been me doing the bathroom joint instead of you know what I mean? But other than that, man, just a lot of just cooking. You know what I mean? Finishing up this stuff with T. Lucas. We got a title now and all of that, man. Just, But shout out to everybody who's tuning in right now. Is showing love for The Office. Who we got in here so far? Cash, I know you've been on it.
Of course.
Hey, Nicole, what's up, baby?
What up, sis?
Phasing Risby.
All right.
Josh McGee, what up, Josh?
Yeah.
Indio in here.
Maeva.
Peace. Indio, was it not Indio, but Maeva's in the area practicing right now with the band.
That's what's up.
Down the street.
Mugen's here,
All
course. Calvin's
Jazz in the building.
Yeah.
Who's Bam? Bam Moji.
Bam is a he's a supporter who is from Philly, if I'm not mistaken. I met him last year.
Yeah.
What up, Shell?
Hey, baby.
We was talking about
yeah, we was just talking about projectile vomiting and great subjects like that. You know what I mean? But man. But hey, thank y'all for all tuning in, man. I know we appreciate y'all patience. It was definitely a struggle getting everything up to date. But we're here now, and that's what counts. Monica Rodriguez, peace to you. Andre, what up? And of course, we got our man with the wrench, my man Johnny, you know what I'm saying, holding it down, So why does office look like a new cool principal office, right? So, all right, so for those who don't know, this is the new location for Substantial Art and Music. We are now located in a place called Creative Suitland, which is all taking place at now. So the technical issues that we were dealing with in the beginning had less to do with the internet and more to do with the fact that I need a different encoder for my laptop. So, learning as we go. But definitely, man, a shout out to everybody for showing love for the new spot. But on that note, Andre in here from Japan. That's what's up. You know what I mean? Shout out to Andre. You know what I mean?
Calvin dropped the EP.
Okay, congratulations, Calvin. Yeah. Clap it up for Calvin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So, link us.
I feel like we should get 3 laptops.
3 laptops? Why not? You know what I mean? So that way you have your sports on go. You got your music joints you want to. I mean, why not?
I think we should have 3 laptops.
You know what I'm saying? Tablets bare minimum. Yeah.
Make that happen. I'm gonna bring one.
You know what I'm saying? Looking like headquarters in this joint.
Exactly.
Exactly. But yeah, so also just to give you guys heads up too, part of what we're going to be trying to, we're going to test to see like how the audio sound or whatever after this show, so we can give the podcast a test drive as well. So fingers crossed for that. And thank y'all, man, just for continuing to support and your patience waiting for us to come back. On that note, gentlemen, you know how I go. You know what I'm saying? We just go down the line. I guess we start with you with music, you know what I'm saying? Get into some what we've been watching, and then you go ahead and hit us with some sports. You know what I'm saying?
Well, as far as music goes, Mick Jenkins dropped a project called Circus. Typical fire, typical Mick Jenkins fire.
Right.
I don't know the concept. I've only listened to it a couple of times. I didn't even know it was dropping to know any information about it, but it's fire. And Joe D has Alfonso out, ALPHONSA. It is fire. It's a mix of new tracks and remixed or reinvented tracks, because remix shit, you can barely recognize the song, which is not a bad thing. Like it's like it dwarves the original project. It is fucking excellent.
Yeah. Joe D joint is fire.
I think we talked about Kokai's project already.
Yeah, that dropped last month.
You got the Griselda, Smoke Dizza, and not Conway the Machine, but the other one. They dropped a project, which is dope. It's typical well-written ignorance. Oh, that's one I'm forgetting. I'm just gonna let me see if before I say that one.
I know what he's about to say. You know what I'm saying? Me and Cash over here laughing because he dancing around. Well, it was two white guys who dropped something actually. Your boy dropped something. I'm surprised you didn't mention Mac Miller. He got
that's what I was thinking about. Yeah. Mac Miller's estate, I guess, dropped a project.
I know it's tough for you.
Yeah,
just, you know.
I'm like a huge Mac Miller fan.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling this joint.
Right.
It's mostly singing.
Right.
And it just doesn't. And I'm nobody. Like, I didn't know Mac Miller. I'm not anywhere close to his circle at all. But these do not feel like songs that Mac Miller would have put on an album.
Right.
Yeah, they're not bad songs. Not bad songs at all, but yeah, it's just...
They're not bad, it's just not good.
They're just not that good as far as Mac Miller goes.
Right.
And then there was... Eminem dropped an album. Music to be Murdered by. It is not bad. It is not bad.
Thank you, sir.
Agreed.
It's not bad.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
I ain't saying this all world.
Shout out to Black Thought for continuing his
shout out to Black Thought. Yes.
Y'all.
So of course that is the best song on the album.
Body Bags.
Second best song, I'm gonna say, is the controversial song that everybody's mad at right
Darkness.
now. Yeah.
I love that song.
I think that song is pretty dope.
Love that
I
song.
think that song is pretty dope.
Right.
But yes, it's typical Eminem, man. It's a bunch of shit that I didn't need to hear because it's fucking Eminem. He already hit the ceiling, and the ceiling is way out in fucking bazillion miles away, and he hit it. There's nothing else he can do.
I appreciate his features on the album.
Yes, that is what I appreciate more than
his features
anything.
on the album was solid.
Because everything else is just like, this is Eminem. Like, this is great, but like, there's literally nothing that Eminem can do. Nothing. There's literally nothing else he can do.
Peace, Kamal.
We had this argument before.
Yeah.
This is why I prefaced y'all about the Eminem. I knew it was gonna be last in his mentions. And it might hurt him a little bit.
little slight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I said the last album was good. It's just
the last joint had some joints too.
Don't need to listen to Eminem anymore, man.
What you think about the Lord Jamar diss? Slight diss.
I mean, Lord Jamar is always available to be dissed, man. Dude's pretty terrible, man. I'm not really a huge fan of Lord Jamar.
I was happy that he addressed that on the album and didn't say anything about Nick Cannon. I know we had a conversation about Nick Cannon last time on the show, but he did address Lord Jamar and maybe 3 bars or whatever. Which is quality. So
I want to know what beef Royce 5'9" and Yellow Wolf have right now.
don't know what
There's some. You didn't hear that?
I don't know where he came from.
Oh yeah,
I heard the mention in it.
It's a pretty deep mention. Like he digs at Yellow Wolf. Like he don't fuck with Yellow Wolf.
I do have a question for the folks in the chat because I see a few people referring to him as overrated, and so now look, you know, all of this stuff is really, it's just our opinion.
Then what is rated? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And so, but you know, like I'm just curious to know like your reason for feeling that that he is overrated. Now, don't get it twisted. I am absolutely a fan of M. I do not love all of the music that M puts out, and I'm definitely not a dude who's like everything he's ever done has been amazing. Like I'm not that guy.
Right.
I am a dude who like, and you know the homies know, like I was on M like really early, like you know back when he was dropping EPs, and dropping freestyles all over the place, and like I'm just bringing stuff home from New York, like putting homies on. And so I think we throw the term like underrated and overrated out a lot, right? Now it's kind of like sometimes, you know, certain things are just based on your taste, right? But like there's a reason why people who
oh man,
like what is going on?
Jokers, man, these jokers in the house, man.
Yeah. They using your
I told them when I'm gone they cannot use Spotify, man.
Yeah, now Serenity does that to me too. But yeah, so we're gonna go to the comments real quick.
Oh, I got one more music thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I went to see KRS-One this weekend.
Ah, yeah.
How was that show?
That
shit was fire. Up in Baltimore, at the Baltimore Soundstage. It was shout out to my man Carlos, one of my clients / friends who treated me to the show. It was basically a Baltimore showcase. It was Eva Rhymes, Ill Conscious's crew. And that's all. I don't know if it was more, but that's all we saw. And it was
listen on this phone.
It was a violinist. It was a violinist as well. It was a violinist as well. But yeah, they were all from Baltimore. It was a dope show. KRS-One is still fucking fire. But I want to hear an album from him. Fuck no. But I love him. He's super, like, even his new shit. Like, even when he does new shit. And please, don't misconstrue me as an old rapper hater. I just get to points with artists. And once I feel like I've heard everything that you've had to say, it's like a novel. Like once you get to the end of a novel, are you going to read the novel again? Like I just don't feel the need to keep going back and hearing the same thing from certain artists. It's not a bad thing. I don't dislike them. It's just I'm on to the next newer artist. So please don't, whenever I say things about older artists, don't think that I'm like some 40-year-old new jack out here wearing fucking sagging my pants, showing my boxers, with my shoelaces all untied. No, man, I just get to points with artists. So, but yeah, KRS-One still fucking great. He freestyled at least 4 or 5 times. It was amazing. Yeah, dude was amazing. That's what's up. But yeah, so back to the comments to see what you guys have to say.
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so I think, and so this is where I'm coming from, right? And I think Jay Wellington summed up where I'm about to go with this best. He said, being a fan is separate from recognizing one's ability, right? And that's all I'm talking about, right? Like M is not overrated when we're talking about ability, right? His ability and what he can do as an MC, he's definitely not overrated, because the dude, if any MC that you love and think is amazing had problem with this dude, right? And they had to go one-on-one in terms of MC ability, that it could be a problem for them. And I'm pretty sure that most of the greatest MCs in the game, like, you know, whether we're talking Rakim, whether you talk Nas, whether you talk Jay, anybody who comes up in a top 5 conversation is going to recognize the ability. Now, in terms of the music he makes or whatever, we can all agree that there are some tracks where it's like, it's amazing. And there are other tracks where it's like, oh, I'm good. That's not for me. You know what I mean? And I think we all can recognize that that's every artist. right? There's someone out there who, like some of y'all who give me love and stuff like that. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure that you've played me for somebody and they be like, not for me. You know what I mean? And so, but I'm not
definitely.
But I'm definitely not talking about like in terms of just like the music they make. I'm just talking about in terms as an MC, as an MC, and we can even talk about it from a business standpoint in terms of what he's accomplished in the industry. And I'm not just talking about him selling a lot of
provided to the culture as well.
I think it became trendy to not like the dude.
Oh yeah,
that is a good point.
Anytime someone becomes huge, that's the thing.
Man,
like Jay-Z, any artist who hits a certain pinnacle or whatever, like if you're on it after a certain point, people are like, oh, you just riding away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what I'm also what I also want to recognize is the fact that because Tsunami said something that I just wanted to circle back to, which was she was saying how talking about like his whiteness and what that means in the industry, and how like if it was a black artist or whatever, they wouldn't necessarily be getting that same recognition. Absolutely, on a mainstream level, we can agree. But let's not forget, because M is from he came out of the underground at a time where it was hard as hell for somebody who looked like him to come up in this scene in the Lyricist Lounge and all of these other places where it's like, yo, you had to be nice. And where like, yo, these dudes were literally throwing coins at like people who look like M. You know what I mean? Like shitting on white rappers. You know what I mean? Like straight up. So like M, in order to get respect in those circles, he couldn't be.
He had to be nice.
Yeah, he couldn't just be nice though. He had to be amazing. Because someone would argue Milkbone was nice.
True.
Someone would argue Everlast was nice.
True.
And a long list of other white raps. At one point in time, someone even said Vanilla Ice was nice. But let's be clear, them Bammers aren't amazing. M, at his best, is an amazing MC.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying.
I think so too. Yeah. I think the narrative is getting pushed that he's not, or he's this and he's that, because when you've been so good for so long, the time that you do have one slip up, and it must be hard to be at the top of your game all the time and not have one slip up, because the second you do have a slip off, everybody assumes it's over.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I think, and like I said to you, I think it's trendy right now to not like him. You know what I mean? And people, because of that, aren't giving him a fair share. Like if you listen to the quality of what he's saying, like that case in point, that song, that it's risky for him to do that song, Darkness. You know what I mean? But if you listen to the storytelling in that song, how could you say that it's anything but
a piece of art?
Yeah. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, have you seen somebody else relate to another song like that on a mainstream level? You're not really seeing that. You know what I mean? So for him to do it and make it a piece of art or whatever, and just for people to say that, it's because you're not trying to, in my personal opinion. Now, if it's not your cup of tea, it ain't your cup of tea.
Right.
But as far as being overrated, who is underrated? You know what I mean? Yeah. We can talk about who's underrated all day long, and I'm sure that a lot of them haven't had the level of success or respect, because I think it's a difference. You can have a level of success, and people say, well, I think he's better. But did you get that same level of respect universally from amongst a lot of your peers? I think that's where he stands out a lot. You know what I mean? Compared to a lot of people that we may say is overrated and who's not underrated.
Yeah, no, I agree. And even the term, like even how people use like underrated, right? Because one time I got in a debate with some folks online because someone referred to me as underrated, right? And my response was like, yo, thank you, because I know you mean that as a compliment, but like I disagreed, right? And my reason for disagreeing wasn't so much that, because oftentimes people use underrated when they're talking about people who they feel like are slept on, right? Like but the reason why I disagreed with the whole underrated thing was I was like, hey,
a hell of a fan base.
Well, not just that, but also because the media outlets who have been exposed to my stuff, because that's what's important to understand, right? Like I look like rating like requires someone to actually hear it and then like respond right in some way, and then rank right. And the thing is, when you look at my track record, like, you know, in terms of like how I've been rated or whatever over the years and stuff, the people who have taken the time to rate my music or whatever and write about my music, it's been more positive than negative or whatever. So, you know, so for me, I know, like, for the people who really listen to the music and took the time to process, like, they never underrate me, right? Like, and a good amount of my peers or whatever who take the time to listen, they hold a lot of respect for me in their high regard. So that is enough for me. And I think the best artists or whatever, like, a lot of times that's kind of how you feel about it. But yeah, man, it's, you know, it's awesome.
Because, case in point, Sean was the first person to say, I gotta listen to Kendrick Lamar. My very first time listening to Kendrick Lamar, I said,
I remember that.
You remember that? I was like, dude is nice, but his voice is annoying as hell. You know what I mean? So phonetically, I was not trying to give Kendrick Lamar a shot at first. So, and because I saw Sue mention phonically, you know, sound, his voice. There's 1,000,001 reasons to not give somebody a chance. You know what I mean? And I think that for me, it took a minute. I still can listen to Kendrick Lamar and be like, yeah, dude's sick, but I don't like his voice. He overrated to me. Just based on opinion. You know what I mean? But I can't, at the end of the day, he's still respected amongst a lot of his
peers. You can't deny his skill.
You can't deny his skill. You know what I mean? So and then I'm like, all right. Then he became trendy, and everybody's like, Kendrick Lamar. So I started giving Kendrick Lamar a lot more go around or whatever, and we paused for real.
That's not moving.
Yeah, it's moving on his though.
Okay.
So see, I got just the joint, but you're good.
So that's why I brought up trendy, because I think that regardless of how much we want to deny it, people tend to jump on trends in a negative or a positive way.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So either you trending well and everybody's like, yeah, he nice, you know what I'm saying? Or you starting to trend in a negative way and everybody's like,
he ain't that good.
Right.
Right. Because I can't believe to this day how many people shit on Nas. And I'm like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same thing we saying about Eminem right now, not everything he did was dope. You say that about Nas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not everything
you
he
say
put
that
out
about anybody except Black Thought. And the only time he's had anything bad was Organics.
Right.
I think that's probably the only artist that I can think of that I can say, I've never heard anything that I didn't like.
Like, I can't think of, like, you know, the weakest line I could think of from Black Thought is, if everything is made in China, are we Chinese?
Oh, man.
That's probably the only stinker.
That is a bad, I remember.
That line from Thought. But Thought is, come on, dog. Like, that dude is, like, that's why, like, he in my top 5. And when people be like, I feel like he hasn't received the accolades. I was like, I ain't talking about accolades. I'm just saying, all of the people you consider great, if his name came up in the conversation, watch their face.
You're right.
And for that reason alone, you know what I'm saying? He deserves to be in anyone's top 5.
Don't talk.
Because, like, yo, that dude is as respected as he is feared. You know what I mean? Like, because that dude, if you share a stage with him, yo, like, you see the difference instantly. This Bama on stage 5 nights a week on a talk show. You know what I'm saying? Still MCing and will randomly freestyle on the Tonight Show at the drop of a hat, but then we'll get on somebody like Eminem album and drop a heat
and
rock.
Make you forget you're listening to Eminem's
album. Yeah, that part.
That's man.
That part. Like about 4 bars into that verse, I forgot it was an Eminem song.
Yeah.
Like,
man.
man. But yeah, man. So shout out to Black.
You had a couple questions too. Headphone question, and do we think light-skinned brothers typically get the best in the industry?
So I really want to know which are your favorite headphones, Stan. This is from Kamel GZ.
And I think that's the second time.
What's it called? Oh my God, I know the name. Sennheiser.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Sennheiser dude. Like, that's all. Those are the only. If you see any headphones in my house or whatever, and it's normally earbuds that are not Sennheiser, it's because they came with a phone.
My homeboy gave me a pair of Sennheiser.
Yeah, them joints said, son, they for me, like, that's where it stops.
That's a good
so Sennheiser all day. Stamp. bow. You know what I mean? I do not have sponsorship, so that is not, you know, an official, you know. Yeah, yeah. My joint is I got spinning wheels. So another. What was one of the other questions we missed?
Oh, the light skin.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't feel like that because I feel like if you look at
light skin brothers typically get it the best in the industry.
Nah, I mean, yeah, I mean when you look at most people like top 5 lists. Yeah, I mean, it's a good amount of brown skin and dark skin.
But I feel like most rappers are dark to brown skin. I feel like that. I just threw that out there. I didn't. There was no validity to that statement. I just feel like when I watch, just thinking about videos, like everybody's always brown skin or dark skin. And I'm not one of those dudes. I don't give a shit about that shit, man. Just talking.
I was about to talk about R&B for a second, and then I immediately thought of I sent you the Lion joint a minute ago. Yo, like that, the Lion,
the one with the Lion, his voice was real high.
Yeah, it's like, it's like an R&B singer. It's like a lion singing R&B or whatever. Like, yo,
instead of roaring like a lion.
Yeah.
Every time he was.
Yeah, but it's like a reference to like light skinned dudes and when they be
oh man,
yeah, it's terrible, yo, it's terrible. But yeah, no, I don't really feel like I don't see it I don't really see it in rap, not in rap. You know what I mean? Like I think.
Oh, R&B now.
I mean that might be different, but like in rap, where rap is about being gritty. And things like that, and like
where it's about being dirty and filthy, you need the dark skin and brown skin. When you want to talk about drugs and violence and disparity and poverty, you need to be brown and dark skin.
Oh my God, Cash. So, what are your thoughts on? I mean, as a representative of our light-skinned brothers, what's your opinion?
I don't think that the color thing has it. I do think that to a certain point you look at it as being marketable.
Sure.
For major labels, you know what I mean? Do you have that look as a part of the process, or do you not have that look? Sometimes you can market that because ODB was an ugly ass dude.
Man, you know ODB was the most non-marketable
Biggie
face
Smalls
ever.
Was one of the ugly ass.
Black and ugly as ever. However,
but
Jay-Z
was an ugly dude, but he light skinned. You know what I mean? So I think honestly, I don't think it bears any. It's more about what you say.
In hip hop, probably. Because first of all, hip hop, they didn't even think hip hop was going to be around as long. But go ahead.
One of my favorite Jay lines on that 444 joint. He was like, "Ain't no such thing as an ugly billionaire. I'm cute." Yeah, it's a great bar. It's a great bar. Yeah. But
yeah, I think the fact that
with this girl moaning in the background, the sights it even more. She's like,
Hey man, Beyonce got a new commercial for Ivy Park, man. Jay-Z, you need to get control of your woman. I'm not serious about that.
Okay, but I was about to say,
I'm definitely
all hate mail can be sent directly to Sherman.
Yes, that Ivy Park commercial, dog. You're not feeling the commercial?
I'm not feeling.
I just wanted to be a bead of sweat rolling down the neighbor Beyonce's neck.
How you doing?
Or down the curve of that bathing suit bottom.
And Nick, you can cut this right here.
Right, man. You know how I feel about some certain artists, man. Yeah, that's my favorite commercial now, man.
Hey, baby, how you doing? I hope.
So this is. I just need you to know, Rochelle. Him saying this is him just agreeing with what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. He just needs to hear you. Mm-hmm. He needs you to hear him say something adverse.
Sleep on that couch right there.
So I'm just saying, man.
I mean, it's cold back here. It's warm in my bed.
That's a beautiful commercial. That's all I'm saying. I love that.
I mean, that's all.
Jay Wellington took it dead. Beyonce is overrated. See, the one.
Beyonce he put the laugh out loud.
He put LOL after. You stupid, man. Beyonce is overrated. Yeah, if Beyonce is overrated, so is Jesus Christ. Joke.
Wow.
Joke.
Wow.
Nah, but as far as
crossing all the lines.
As far as artists being deified, yeah, there's no way you can say Beyonce is overrated, man. Like she has
depends on what you're looking for.
Like what? Singing?
Okay.
Looks,
vocally,
charisma, business acumen.
Here's how I always debate Beyonce. Shelf life of her music. These same Diddy boppers, these
She's
little
a pop
kids,
artist.
I know she is, but she's these same, Diddy boppers and young teens that listen to her albums now. When you 34, 35, 40 years old, you really gonna be listening to that same type of stuff, or you gonna want something a little bit deeper? And so here's where I see it. You got somebody like Mary J, who's not as good of a singer as
but her pen game crazy.
Yeah, but you put on My Life, and that album is timeless.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So always, and same thing with Jill Scott.
I don't think that's what Beyonce got into the game for.
But see, I always liken music to the drug game. You can be in it to make the fast money and get out, or you can be in it for the long money, the long term of it, or whatever, and still make your money beyond what most people will have as a short career. You can come out with a hot single, sell, you know what I mean, and then throw a flop out there. You done made your money. You know what I mean? Or you can make some quality shit, not get as much love for it. I keep using Jill Scott as a reference point because Jill Scott is fucking dope. You know what I mean? But if you say Jill Scott versus Beyonce, your average woman gonna say, "Oh, B all day." But as far as quality of music, I don't think them same women.
Jill Scott is the queen,
right?
Yeah.
But I don't think them same women that listen to Beyonce now, when they go through life, you know what I mean? Well, to the left ain't gonna be as dope.
I think the thing with Beyonce though is like when you think of Jill Scott is her music. Like it's a select group of people who like her physical attributes, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
When you look at Beyonce, like you want
to be it's
a whole thing that comes with Beyonce, like the hair whipping, like she gives women a feeling, like everything about her whole like
energy.
her whole it's
energy, right?
And Jill Scott doesn't have that same energy.
You're absolutely right.
So I think that's like. So musically, as an artist, Jill Scott to me, Jill Scott blows Beyonce out of the water. Yeah. But when you compare them as a whole, like in the music industry, can't nobody fuck with Beyonce.
No.
Nobody's fucking with Beyonce.
She's at the top of it. I just always liken it to who am I going to be listening to?
Jill Scott all day long.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And
well, I think that's because I think artists like Jill Scott, like. Okay, so I think Beyonce got into it to be a part, I think she knew that.
Yeah, her goal was to be as big as she could possibly
be. Was to be, I don't think she necessarily wants to leave a mark musically. I think her mark is her legacy. I don't think she gives a fuck about her music as far as, are you going to be listening to it forever? No, you're not going to be listening to it forever, but you will know my name until you die because it's going to be connected to something forever.
That's why I liken it to drug money. You got those out there, I'm going to hustle my way to $1 million quick. You know what I mean? I don't care what I got to do to get there. Then you got someone say, you know what, I'm going to go to school and learn how to do real estate. And yes, I'm gonna make money. It's gonna be long.
Well, then you got the drug dealers that take their drug money and take it and use their drug money and go to real estate school. That's what Beyonce is.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Jill Scott is the one. I feel like Jill Scott, artists like that are the ones that's like, I'm out here making this dope money because I'm good at it.
Right.
I'm not trying to kill the world, but I'm good at what I do, so I'm gonna keep doing it. And I can make a living because I'm good enough at what I do to deserve to make a living off of it.
Jill is the drug. Like she's like her music is here to make you high. It's supposed to give you a feel. And then Beyonce's the drug dealer. I'm gonna push this product and make a whole lot of money from it. That's why I like it too.
And funny thing though, I feel like she kind of helps drive the industry as well. Like I feel like she helps maintain the relevancy.
Yeah,
that's a word. The relevancy of other quality, of other quality R&B artists because her name is always resonating.
Right.
Yeah. Now I feel like I fixed it. It's anytime you're dealing with like pop artists, you know what I mean? Pop artists or whatever, like it's one of those things where it's like you're trying to walk that line of making music that's relevant, right? Like to whatever the mood or like the sound of the time is or whatever. And then occasionally, sometimes the pop artist in very few instances, sometimes it's ahead of the curve. But you know, I wouldn't say that making timeless music isn't necessarily a part of that either. You know what I mean? I think it's not necessarily the main driving force, but it's one of those things you got to remember too, that like the music might not speak to us, but a good amount of the stuff or whatever, where it's like, yeah, you might not be listening to it in your home when you're cleaning, right? Mm-hmm. Or when you're just kind of having certain moments and trying to reflect on life and where you are. Like she's not necessarily making that music. However, right, that song might have came out when you was like 19 or 20 or whatever, but then now you 40 and they play that old whatever song by Beyonce at a wedding, at a whatever or whatever, like those people are going to respond. Right, you know what I mean? It's certain nostalgia. I mean, it is a good amount of music that we listen to. It's the same thing, right? Like where it's like you don't necessarily agree with like the sentiment or whatever in terms of what the song was about. That's not where your life is anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about like, man, listen, man, I'm a huge Ice Cube fan in terms of like Ice Cube's older records and stuff like that. Spit almost most of that shit verbatim, right? And tell you flat out, that shit does not reflect my life and where I'm at right now at all, right? Like, but it does reflect like a lot of some of the things I saw as a youngin', you know what I mean? So even though I'm not there, right, and there's still some type of connection where it's still like there's a certain amount of relevancy to the music or whatever, you know what I mean?
The scary part about Ice Cube is that on what's the name of that album?
Facts, Afro.
Ah, shit. After America's Most Wanted, his second solo album. The joint with no Vaseline. What's the name?
America's Most Wanted.
America's Most Wanted was
Predator.
the first. Nah, it was shit.
What, before America's Most Wanted?
It was after America's Most Wanted.
After America's, talking about Death Certificate.
Death Certificate.
I told you I'm a Cube fan. Right.
Death Certificate. Right. So Death Certificate.
Lethal Injection was after that.
Yeah. Death Certificate is still relevant today. If you listen to it, the same topic lines he's talking about in Death Certificate. And this is what I meant when I said timeless out.
Yeah.
The same topic lines he's talking about in Death Certificate are relevant today.
Facts.
So, and I just from the hacker, I want to go back and listen to some old school stuff. I threw the album on and I was like, damn.
Yo, Cube
still look fly. You know what I mean?
Cube
and so that's what I mean. Like I can listen to that and then I can say, all right, this was a timeless album. Mm-hmm. And then I can listen to somebody else. I can't think of nobody off the name of my head and be like, yeah, that only applied for that.
Yeah, it was good for that moment. You know what I mean? But like a good amount of pop songs or whatever by like one hit wonders. So that's very much what it is.
I wanted to address something that Steph had just said. She said, I think she misconstrued my comment. She said, I think Beyonce does care about her music. She doesn't make trash albums. Mm-hmm. Definitely wasn't saying she makes trash albums, and I don't think you heard the whole statement. I was saying she doesn't care about the timelessness of her music. I think what Beyonce does, I feel like she intentionally makes music for what's going on right now. I think she intends to to take control of the year that she's in. I don't think she makes.
Go ahead.
Well, just to finish off, I feel like she wants to control the year that she's in. It doesn't matter if it goes further than that because she wants to make $1 billion that year, and then next year she's going to make another thing that makes another $1 billion. She's not concerned about this one thing making money over a span of time. She's like, yeah, how can I capture everything that's going on right now and put it in an album and make everybody buy it right now, so I can do it again next year and do the same thing again the year after that.
Right, and see, I think there's a depth to your music that makes it timeless, and there's a target audience that comes with both of them. And I think that because Jay-Z said something on Kingdom Come,
mainstream.
On Kingdom Come album, that opening, that damn intro was one of the best shit I've ever heard Jay spit or whatever. In it, he was talking about being intricate to get you wood critic on the internet. They're like, you should spit it. I'm like, you should buy it. Nigga, that's good business. So, you know, if you want to sell, sometimes you gotta, and as an artist, you can definitely attest to this. There's a lot of people that say the content of what you say is going to drive people to buy whatever it is that you're trying to buy. But along with that comes a target audience. If my target audience is for the boppers that just want to dance and just want to shake their ass, when I come out and I say
you need to give them a whole bunch of substance.
When I do come out and I want to say, you know what, I'm still an artist and I want to say something substance, they're looking at you like, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I mean? This ain't what we want you.
This ain't what we asked you for.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So you're kind of caught in that in between, or you're kind of caught in that box. Like, and even Eminem said it on this album. He said when he did Relapse, they shitted on Relapse because he was being a little bit more thoughtful and deeper with his content, and nobody wanted that from him. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a catch-22 when you say, okay, all right, I just want to sell $1 billion, like you said earlier. I want to sell $1 billion, because yeah, you're gonna get that, but then when you want to be yourself, or you want to put in music that's more, you know, more in depth or more in thought provoking, a lot of that target audience that you brought in.
Well, really I feel like Jay-Z and Beyonce have mastered that though.
Absolutely.
Like I feel like they've mastered the art of being deep while not saying a whole bunch.
You know that people shitted on 444? Like when that album came out, people was shitting on it like, yo, this ain't, because everybody expected.
They was waiting for him to talk about his money.
Everybody expected drug dealing Jay-Z.
And it wasn't no club. I mean, Jay has consistently through his career giving you some type of club, like, you know, some type of track. You know, even with Reasonable Doubt, like there was party joints.
Several,
there were joints you could party to on there. You know, Ain't No Nigga, tracks like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, it's funny, man. Like, I guess the circles I was in, I didn't really see as much of the hate for that album. But what I did see was how, like, people was praising it as they were acting like it was something groundbreaking. And that right there, I was like, yo, that is probably one of the biggest slaps in the face to like every dude that's ever made like an adult contemporary hip hop album, because there's a shitload of them. Like there's a ridiculous amount of like.
Man, I know this artist named Substantial that does the shit out of adult contemporary hip hop.
Man,
I don't know if y'all ever heard of him, but
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the comments too, man. I see a lot of y'all.
Yes, I'm talking about this dude, man. We're not talking about Substantial right now. I'm looking at the comments.
I appreciate y'all.
Real quick, like what Jay-Z was talking about, truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense. I think it's inside of him that's what he wants to do, but then he's caught between, damn, do I rhyme like that and show that I got
leave this money on the table?
Like, fuck that, you know what I'm saying? Keep spitting that heat, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of artists, mainstream especially, they run into that. You know what I mean? And I know you can speak to being an independent artist that controls your own music and controls your own content. And therefore, you put out whatever it is that you feel at the time. That's a freedom that a lot of them wish that they had, but they feel like if I don't, you know what I mean, do it a particular way, I won't maximize on that money.
Racial. Yo, so one of the things I say in this class that I teach over at Omega School, it's like a recording studio and audio engineering school in Rockville, Maryland. Like, you know, one of the first things I say in my class, it's a music business class, and I say, it's like, yo, you got to decide as an artist coming into this business what your objective is. Or is your goal to be like famous, right? Like a pop star, like, you know, like sell millions of records, or is your job just to be a working musician? Right? Because there are plenty of working musicians who you will never hear of, people who, like, you know, are making money like your parents make money on their great, like, paying government job, right? Government contractor jobs or whatever, where they might not be making like millions of dollars, but maybe they're making a solid like 6 figures, right? Or maybe they making, you know, maybe they live in that middle class life or whatever. They doing like 60 grand or better off their job. There are jobs in music for people who you will never hear of, like who, and they're just like people playing like as a part of a symphony. Those gigs at one point were starting at like 40 grand a year. You know what I mean? Like people who just like literally, they're not even making original music. They're literally just hired because they're one of the best performers when they players when it comes to that instrument, and they are paid to play other people's music in a certain setting. And because of that, they make tens of thousands of dollars a year. And so, you know, as a musician, you got to decide like, yo, what is my objective? my objective to make quality music and control my narrative. That part, like make music that I can be proud of and control my narrative and make a living doing that, or is my job or is my goal to be a superstar or whatever. And it's not to say you can't do both a bit, right? Because there's some artists who've walked that line and been able to stay true to who they are. A great example of that, I would throw Will Smith in that bag. Somebody who was able to kind of do the type of music they wanted to make for the most part, in terms of talking about subject matter that he wanted to talk about. Because he had like those pop tracks later in his career, but largely, like, look at all of the different subject matter that dude covered in his career, right? That you don't see a lot of pop stars.
It's funny, it was all socially conscious music. It was just from a different perspective.
Yeah.
It was from a lighter perspective.
But well, we can talk about that later. My question was, did that come?
I don't, Jay Talani, and I'm not sure how to say your name. I don't meditate every day. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Did that come after or before Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Because back when he first came out, he was just Will Smith spitting. And
that was continuous all the way through Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think that was post Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
He had a Grammy before the show.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, did the exposure and being on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, becoming an actor, allow him to continue to make that same type of content and music? That's what I'm saying. So when you first came out, you see what I'm saying? Like
he wasn't so reliant on the check from the music.
Yeah, it's like, you can go ahead and do whatever you feel like doing because you.
But one could argue, Jay and Beyonce don't need the money from music anymore.
Oh yeah, we definitely know that.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, Jay, like, look,
Will Smith was just like the first Jay-Z, man. He did the shit how he wanted to do it, man, and he made the music. Like, I feel like his music definitely didn't compromise who he is. Like, listening to anything from Will Smith and seeing him now, I feel like he's supposed to be who he is.
Nah, and don't get it twisted. He absolutely made like some pop music, but when you look at his career, his entire career, and what he decided to talk about, you know what I mean?
His career was straight up hip hop.
Yeah, like straight up. And so I think you'd be hard pressed to find like a lot of artists who achieve like pop status or whatever, who managed to still be able to stay kind of true to the, their core message or whatever. And I think I mean that's a whole we go off on a tangent. The wild thing is we've been on music this whole episode. We ain't even really touch on nothing else.
So go ahead and start, man. Because I'm
saying what you been watching?
Yeah.
Oh man.
What you've been watching is gonna blend into sports, and then I'm gonna let you.
Got you. So I've watched so much because I've been sick and been home, so I've seen a lot. First of all, just a nice segue. The new season of Hip Hop Evolution is out, and it's dope. Oh my god, Hip Hop Evolution might be one of the best docuseries ever put together. Because dude, like they don't miss much. I did watch that.
You watched that?
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. We can talk. Yeah.
Don't fuck with cats.
So they do this joint called Southern Lab, right? Where they break down. They go to Houston and talk about DJ Screw, rest in peace. Oh my God, so dope. Then they talk to Lil Jon or whatever and talk about like how he formed like the formula for his sound and how things came up for him. But when they go to Virginia, when they go talk to Teddy Riley, first of all, shout out to them for giving Teddy Riley his due. You know what I mean? Because when we talk hip hop, because this dude came from God, like we just kind of glaze over this dude.
Jack Swing,
like he ain't control the whole soundscape at one point in time, or the biggest part of the soundscape.
The whole New Jack City.
So like
he helped usher in the era of rappers and R&B artists being on the same tracks.
Right. So Pete. So then they talk about when he left Harlem and moved to Virginia Beach and how he discovered Pharrell and how he discovered the Neptunes. through a talent show or whatever, and then brought them in. And then, you know, and he talks about how Pharrell wrote his verse from Rump Shaker. They go through all of that, right? What? Yes.
Wow.
Pharrell, while he was in high school, wrote this dude's verse on Rump Shaker. Pharrell has had hits forever.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Pharrell has had hits forever. Since we were in middle school, dog.
Yeah, apparently, man, that's
Pharrell. Yeah, like for real. So, but listen. So they talk about that. Then they talk about like they talk about Timberland and Missy. They go through Young, and like man, man. Like they go through it all. They talk. It's just dope. I cannot stress enough for you to go check it out. They talk to T.I. They talk about like give T.I. his due. Like talk about like trap music and like him ushering in that and all of that. Just super dope. I saw the Morbius trailer. Looks pretty good.
Why did I see it and think that was Nightcrawler?
I thought it was Nightcrawler as well. Until the end of it, I'm like, oh wait, that's not Nightcrawler. It's not Nightcrawler.
Andre, I'm super jealous of you. There was an interview I did. He said he met Timberland. There's an interview I did where they asked me if I could have 2 producers do a full record for me. Which 2 producers would it have been? And the first person I said was Dilla, right? Because Dilla's my favorite producer. The second person I said, like, literally made everyone go quiet in the room, and it was Timberland, right?
Timberland owned the 2000s.
Hey, but like Timberland, you know why I love Tim? I love Tim for the same reason I love Dilla. Dilla doesn't have one style, right? Dilla has a particular sound that he developed that people know him for, but Dilla can hear almost anybody else's stuff. He can hear a Pete Rock joint and give you something that sounds like Pete Rock. He can hear a Primo joint and give you something that sounds like Primo. But then he could give you something that probably sounded not too far from a Timberland beat when you think of something like Raise It Up or whatever from Slum Village, which don't sound like your typical Dilla joint, right? Like he could flip anybody's style, right? Timberland is a dude who has his own style, right? But then could virtually, like, he could give you, like, people forget on Blueprint, Ola Jovito, that's a Timberland beat.
Yeah.
That joint don't sound like a Timberland beat. You know what I mean?
Black Album, he's over.
Yo,
he's killing Black Album.
And
Dust Off His Shoulders.
Right. That's all. Heart's crazy. And so, like, and I love, man. Timberland's production, man. Like, for me, is definitely it's probably it's hands down my favorite, like, mainstream, like, production, because I feel like this dude is pushing, like, he just constantly pushes the envelope. When you listen to that Pony song by Genuine, right? When you listen to the bass line is like a beatbox bass line beat. Like, this dude is like Timberland has consistently, same thing with the Neptunes too, man. Like, they just always push the envelope. And I ain't saying I love everything these dudes did, but I just, like, when you watch the interview, I think you will have so much more appreciation for what them dudes did, because they always was, both Timberland, Missy, and Pharrell and the Neptunes, Pharrell and Chad, shout out to Chad as well. They were always about how can we push the sound forward, and which was dope.
So I want y'all to
that
y'all tell me what's going on, because y'all been pushing Watchmen, and I started the series.
Yes.
What's going on with it now, though?
So no, that's it.
What the fuck?
No, but the dude, like, see, that's the thing. I listened to the podcast, so I already knew. Like, after I watched the joint, I listened to the joint, and they were asking, so season 2. He was like, well, I didn't get into this with the plan of doing more seasons. Like, that's why it wraps up so perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with the whole, I want to see if she walked on water and if she got abilities. I mean, I'm good. I am so good. I'm good.
I wanted to see her fucking walk on water.
I didn't.
I wanted to see her with special powers. I'm zapping niggas, man.
Right.
I'm good because it was done so well, but I would definitely like to see a season 2, but we're not gonna get it. So
So is that a win on?
We're talking about Watchmen, and sorry
is that a
for spoilers.
Is that a win
You've had time
for HBO?
Oh, HBO gonna be fine.
There'll be another show coming. Yeah, another show coming.
HBO has produced too many hits to for one show to hurt anything.
Well, and then I think all this is going to do is make people wait and see what the next show that they have to offer is.
They got people on bait right now. Like they don't.
Oh, the rap show. Hip Hop Evolution is the rap show we were talking about.
But you got to see it from the first one and run it into the latest Hip Hop Evolution, because the first one was dope too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So yeah.
That So what's the show called again? I forget how they.
The Aaron Hernandez one.
Yeah, something
Eyes Through a Murder or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I would say. Well, go ahead, Knock. I've been talking a minute. Go ahead.
So.
Me too, Seth.
Have you seen it yet?
No, he doesn't want to watch it.
I don't think I'm gonna watch that, man. Not right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just get into it. Personally, I felt I had a problem with the documentary in this aspect. You know, it's more so the reaction from the documentary I had a problem with. People are actually feeling sorry for Aaron Hernandez right now. And that's what I'm having a problem swallowing. And I don't know if it's not necessarily just because of me.
I think as far as his mental health goes, I think he deserves to be felt sorry for. You playing football from 8 years old?
Was part of his mental health.
You playing football from 8 years old, dog, and you now 30-something years old.
Only 2 documented concussions. But
come on,
they know for a fact.
Yeah,
we know.
If you're playing football from 8 years old, there's no way, and you're in a position of high impact. You're anything other than a quarterback. I don't feel like there's any way you're not concussed. There's no way possible. So I absolutely feel like look at the story.
I've had 2 concussions.
There's no such thing as an animal, dog. Humans are not born as animals. So when people exhibit these savage ways, this is sickness. This is mental health. So nobody is that nobody's that wild. You don't just form yourself into a wild animal that is you losing that's you losing your grip on your humanity. That's mental health issues. The dude was sick as fuck, man. So do I think he deserved to go to jail? Absolutely. But do I feel sorry for him? I definitely feel sorry for him because he never got any help. There are stories of all types of shit that happened, throughout his college career leading, throughout his football career leading up to the NBA. He's always had issues.
NFL.
I said NBA.
Yeah.
NFL. He's always had issues.
Basketball. Go ahead.
So I just man, dude wasn't okay, man. And the way of course, the media is going to shape it, and of course the NFL is going to help them shape it as, Aaron Hernandez is an animal. Nah, man, this dude, I'm telling you, if you if you ever get the opportunity to take someone from 8 years old and just ram their head into the wall up until they're 30 years old, see how they end up. See how they end up. They're going to be fucked up, man. So, I feel sorry for him in that aspect, but he did deserve to go to jail. So,
Yeah, my
never will for Zion.
He is absolutely, he was responsible for the things he did. He deserved, to be locked up for the things he did. Absolutely, without a doubt. However, from the teams to the people in the inner circle or whatever who just kind of was stamping different things that he was doing, everybody has a hand. Everybody's hands is dirty. You know what I mean? And it's just it's not about trying to downplay his role in it, because he's still a main dude.
Not the crime.
But just for example, even when he was in college, when they let it when he got away with certain things he was getting away with on a college level. You know what I mean? You setting this dude up or whatever to think that he continue to do certain things. It's no different than a person or whatever who gets charged with rape or whatever, right? But then even though all the evidence is making obvious this is what the person did, they get a slap on the wrist, they get sent off. Then months later, years later, here comes another rape charge for him. Here comes another rape charge for him. And so you gotta understand that if people aren't held responsible for certain things or whatever, they're going to continue to do certain things. And then, like in terms of the NFL, you know, I'm like, man, you like for every time they try to bring up weed and try to make it seem like that was part of the problem for the dude, like him self-medicating, all I kept thinking is, I was like, yo, but you shooting these dudes in with shooting these dudes in the ass, these little shots or whatever, so they don't feel shit. You know what I mean? When they dealing with certain.
But you worried
about him self-medicating.
And for the record, I ain't never heard nobody smoking so much weed that they decide to go kill a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah, but it's a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, I feel about it, but Cash, because I know you saw it too. I mean,
point blank period. I have a problem with this documentary. Fuck Aaron Hernandez. Straight up. You know why? Okay, because yes, concussions. I get that. Okay, as a person who played football and actually had a concussion a long time ago, it's nothing to play with. And no, I wasn't on the level of having 250-pound motherfuckers running head on with me, giving me a concussion. I'm not comparing that. But before that, okay, he was gang affiliated and gang related before University of Florida. They knew this. Urban Meyer knew this, and he still recruited him. I have a problem with people feeling sorry for this motherfucker now when they knew that he killed 2 people prior to even playing for the University of Florida. So if you had a history of anything, that's one thing to look at and be like, nah, but the motherfucker could block. And the motherfucker.
Well, so is it fuck Aaron Hernandez or is it fuck the media in the NFL for allowing him not getting any help?
Fuck Aaron Hernandez first and foremost.
Why you saying fuck Aaron Hernandez? I'm gonna get to that. First and foremost, fuck Aaron Hernandez, and then second, fuck the person who made that documentary. Because the reason why they made that documentary is to give you the feeling like, well, yeah. He went through these things and explaining why he is, and he potentially was gay and he was hot and this and that.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. So to me, it's like, yo.
Oh God.
And then I look at Odin Lloyd, and I'm like, there's nobody giving a fuck about Odin Lloyd through none of this.
Yeah.
And he died for nothing.
Well,
for nothing at all. But Pete. Then they looking at his wife, who became his wife, who then turned around and had a baby by one of his ex college roommates or whatever, and they looking like, oh well, she was loyal to the end. Fuck her. The dude that was killed, Odin Lloyd,
was her sister's boyfriend.
Wait.
Did Odin Lloyd do who Aaron
Hernandez's wife's
sister's boyfriend?
Right. They bodied him. And the rumor is, now this hasn't been confirmed, that he was about to out Aaron for being gay. And that's the reason why he killed him. Fuck Aaron Hernandez. I don't want to hear about, oh, well, he was troubled and he went through trauma.
I mean, he was, though. But
who wasn't? Who wasn't? Come on, man. Who wasn't going through traumatic experience? You can name a rack of people who went through trauma. You can name a rack of people that went through trauma or whatever and ain't body nobody. Come on. You know what I mean? Who play football and ain't body nobody.
Right, but everybody's not the same though. That's like the dude that can smoke crack and go to work every day, and the dude that smoke crack and is done.
That's true.
So
you got people that can drink alcohol and still make it home, and you got somebody who will drink it,
maybe drink one drink and
kill 20 people.
So it was different. Like, so I'm not. So let me just say, I'm not saying that Aaron Hernandez is a good person at all. What he did was garbage. And fuck him for what he did.
Okay.
But there was something on the other side of that, and you can't dismiss that. And I don't feel like it's fair, because at first I was doing that. I was dismissing the fact that he's a football player and that he's been in car crashes for a living basically his whole life. I was like, fuck the nigga the same way. But once they started talking about all the CT and everything, I started thinking about like, wait, there's a chance that most of these dudes are suffering from this from this stuff. Like like somebody was talking about Junior Seau and other people like that. Even McNair probably had some issues. But I'm just saying,
McNair was killed by his mistress.
But I'm just saying the side effects from playing football, like you got it's just a lot. Like you never can tell. You can never say exactly how someone is going to react from having their brains jostled and smashed. So it like you're never going to know. Like so you may kill yourself. You may go out and kill other people. You may not do shit. You may be okay, and you just may die early from your concussive symptoms. But
I get that if he wasn't killing motherfuckers before the NFL.
He's been playing since he was 8 years old, so there is no before football.
But he also was gang related too. Like,
but he was playing contact football from 8 years old, dog. That says a whole lot.
You got guys who don't play football, gang related, and kill people. That's just a part of the makeup. So how can you say it's all football when he was doing shit prior to football?
Okay, I'm not saying it's all football. I'm saying the concussions have something to do with it. And if you look at the level of savagery, like the dude was like the shit that he was doing. So when you look at certain things, like there, I don't know about now, but there were rules to everything. There were rules to the streets, rules to the gang shit. There are certain things that you don't do, certain things that you can do. Like this dude is rogue. He was just doing whatever he felt like doing. Like he was he didn't seem to be under any guidance of anybody, whether it be the gangs or anything. Like that may have been where he established the chip on his shoulder, but I don't think that's what was governing how he was moving. I think it was his mind being warped. I think he thought it was gang shit, but when your mind is warped, you can look at something.
That's hard to determine.
It is. You know I'm just saying. It is. I'm not a doctor. I ain't shit.
And they feel like I'm affiliated till I die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if I'm doing this at 17, 18 years old, fuck the fact that I'm getting $40 million to play football. I'm still gang with it. I'm still down. I'm still with it.
That was a concussion, bro.
Nah, bro.
That's a concussion, bro.
We don't.
It's no. We're only speaking opinion here. Y'all, it's no way that and nigga is gonna be on the streets, gang life or whatever, and you go to your gang leader and you say, I got the opportunity to bring $40 million back to whatever organization I'm associated with if I just go do this. Or I can sit here with y'all and we can sit here grinding this whole time. Or, hey man, that's a business move. Them dudes, they not just gang members. These dudes have business acumen as well. So you don't think that they'd have been like, nah, dog, go get that 40. You still, because them dudes still be throwing up gang signs in the NFL and NBA. So they're still affiliated. So you
and they ain't killing motherfuckers. That's my point. So you got rappers
because they made the decision.
You got rappers out here.
They ain't killing motherfuckers.
Because you got rappers that's dumbing out too. That you just got 6-figure advance. You know what I mean? You going out there, you doing dumb shit.
All I'm saying is, I'm not anybody. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any authoritative figure. So all I'm saying is, you cannot discount the CTE and concussive symptoms from what Aaron Hernandez did.
Is it a personal choice and a personal decision to continue to do the shit that you do?
Oh, it was his decision.
So why are we talking on both levels?
Because when even a schizophrenic thinks they're in their right mind. You don't know you're crazy until you know you're crazy. Like you don't just wake up and like, yeah, all this shit I'm doing is insane, but I'm gonna do it anyway. You think it's okay?
Okay, I still to this day. Moving beyond, I don't give a fuck what they put in front of me. I don't give a shit about Aaron Hernandez and everything, because I think at the end of all of this was the personal choices that he decided to do that made him the way that he was. Whether the rumor of him getting gay was true or not, I don't know. But it's been out there. The guy who made the documentary, one of his underlying points was to talk about that. And he brought a guy on there to say, well, you know, he was ashamed of us and all this other shit.
It was a gay dude.
It's a dude that grew up. It's a dude that grew up with him. But let me say this. I don't
grasping at straws, the media.
I think there's a certain amount of but even with that, I do think there's some validity to them bringing that up, because of the fact that
bringing it up, yeah.
He part of a macho world, and
because there are some people we know for a fact there are people who are in the closet and they have their reasons for being in the closet and they pretend to be something they're not because they feel like there's certain consequences if they get outed, and they are willing in some cases to do anything to prevent them from being outed. You know what I mean? So for instance,
Joshua McGee. So
certain boxers have the same CTE and they ain't killing.
So this dude may not have been a boxer, But what was the wrestler's name that killed his whole family?
Oh yeah, they were just talking about Benoit, right?
Benoit. Chris Benoit. So yeah, so all I'm saying is, man, like I hope everybody's hearing this. You can never determine exactly what these things are going to do to people. I understand that there are people in the same position that don't do the same things that he does. But you cannot discount the fact that this dude had been playing football since he was 8 years old, and you don't know the level of concussive symptom, concussive side effect, or whatever, concussive whatever, until they die. You can't examine that until the person dies. So yeah, man, I don't know if they've done his autopsy or not.
And you can't discount the fact that, like, some people who have something to hide that they are scared to death or whatever for the world to know about are sometimes willing to go to crazy lengths to cover up that. And so, like, when you look at a lot of the situations when he popped off with somebody and actually killed someone, right? Like we don't know for sure why he killed his sister's boy, like Odin Lloyd, right? But we do know that the two people that he killed in the club, like, just they bumped him. You know what I mean? That whole, like, that over response or whatever for something petty. You know it's bad when your drug dealer / kingpin friend is like, bro, chill out. You know it's bad. Like, even the drug dealer dude who is a killer, who literally got shot in the groin out front of a club.
Oh, he shot his best friend in the face.
Oh yeah, that part. Like, yeah. So
he survived. So he got bodies, though. That's the part that kills me. Like, Urban Meyer. First of all, Urban Meyer's a sleazeball. Okay, he's a fucking scumbucket. You know what I mean?
We got rap
all this shit. Okay, listen, I'm gonna make this quick.
We 75 minutes in.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So Urban Meyer knew about it. They vetted this shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They knew this person was trouble. You know what I mean? They didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? And they don't care. Like, they put him in a position to make millions of dollars or whatever, knowing that this person is probably
would calm it down if we can just get you there.
They saw something for themselves. They was like, shit, this motherfucker's 6 foot, whatever, in 200.
Well, that's the first thing.
He can run and catch passes over the middle.
He can make us look good.
He can make money for us. You know what I mean? But they didn't give a shit about all the stuff that he was doing prior to getting to the University of Florida. See, before University of Florida, nobody knows who the fuck Aaron Hernandez is except for the people he was bodying back in the day. Nobody knows who he is except for the people in his local gang that he was a part of. But they gave him a platform by bringing him to the University of Florida, and they never gave him the help that he really needed. They never took that hood shit out of him. And you know what I mean? All he did was he was a killer with money. You know what I mean? And he still was doing the same dumb shit. Did the concussions help? No. You know what I mean? But are the concussions the sole reason for why all that happened?
No. I hope that's not what you thought I was saying.
Nobody's ever said that.
Yeah, I was definitely not saying that at all.
Well, what we're saying,
it's hard for me to feel sorry for him at the end of the day.
You know, I don't think it's so much about feeling. I don't always think it's about feeling sorry for people. And I think it's important for us to not get irritated by the fact that, like, something comes out and it makes people, like, feel empathy for it. That's a human response. You know what I mean? But what I do think it's important to know is that, like, we love to write off things and make it simple, right? Like, to be like, oh, they just did this because they're a piece of shit. Nah, B. That's a weak ass answer, right? Like, that's like as men or whatever, when we make certain mistakes and shit, and we don't always do the right thing in certain situations, we don't like it when people try to write off what we did.
Fucking hate.
We don't like it when people try to write off.
Oh, that's just what men do. Right. That's just what men do.
So what I'm saying is, like, in this particular instance or whatever, when we're talking about all of the heinous shit he did, because the shit he did is not regular shit. So let's not pretend like he came up in regular circumstances or whatever, and that he wasn't experiencing certain things that didn't lead him down that path. And it's easy to be like, there's easy to be like, it's easy to be like, other people went through the same shit. Nah, B, it's not the same. right? Because we talking about concussions. No, nigga, he didn't just go through concussions. He went through concussions, right? He also had a father who was like the man's man. Everybody knew the reputation of his father, and anything that looked like some like sissified, like soft shit, his dad went in. Right, so then you got the mental stigma that comes with that, right? Then on top of that, you got him spending time around certain dudes or whatever who get down with a certain type of life that he himself doesn't have to be involved in, but because he's trying to look like a tough dude, like basically buys into that lifestyle and then tries to constantly portray that shit. Because one of the dudes who was friends with Odin Lloyd, that was the main thing. He was like, dude, this nigga wasn't a real gangster. You know what I'm saying? But he was constantly trying to be like, he was going like,
and those are the worst types.
He was going to crazy lengths to try to be something.
Image.
Right.
Those are the worst types.
So like now, hold on, but then let's not stop there. Now also understand the fact that like, yo, on top of that, his cousin who he's closest to in his whole family, who's fighting cancer or whatever, after his father dies, her husband leaves her and then gets with his mom and is sleeping in his home. This nigga already off his meds and crazy. What does that do on top of that? Dog, keep in mind, I'm not even halfway through all of the shit I could list.
This off the dot?
Bro. So understand.
Okay,
and so
I might watch this.
So listen,
that sounds like a lot of.
So I say all that to say this, right? Like as an educator, right? As somebody who's working with kids, also his mom chose someone over him, and she tried to get money.
She called.
Absolutely.
It was an incident where she called him, wanted $1 million for him, and she was like, "You just signed that $40 million contract.
Wow.
Yeah.
So give me $1 million."
Yeah. So yeah, let's
still.
But listen, so let's not. So look, I say all that because I ain't gonna get into the whole education part. All I'm gonna say is this: it's easy for us to see something that looks ridiculous that we know for a fact we would never do, right? And to say that because there are certain things about his life that overlap with ours that like, oh, this nigga's crazy just because I've been through X, Y, and Z and I ain't out here killing motherfuckers. Right. It's like, but there's also a long list of other shit that this nigga experienced that you haven't yourself gone through. And like, yo, like y'all aren't like, it's not the same formula. Right. There are certain key differences that make you who you are and he who he is.
Hey.
Right? So on that note,
I feel bad for the family.
Yes.
I feel bad for Odin Lloyd and
I feel terrible
bad for his daughters
I feel
too.
bad for that.
Aaron Hernandez's kids have got to grow without a father.
Yeah, that's why I feel bad.
Fucked up foundation.
I hear everything that y'all say. I'm glad we had this discussion.
But it's still fuck. Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, man.
I don't think anybody
saying you're wrong about your opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
You ever have somebody taken, you know what I mean, from you in your life, you know what I mean, and you like, it was senseless, it was pointless. It's hard for you to feel empathy for that person who did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. In spite of, we don't know what Odin Lloyd went through in his life.
For me, it's fuck R. Kelly forever. Not just for all the bullshit he did, but also that nigga took Aaron Hall away from us. So fuck him forever. Right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Nigga came out and took his whole. I was trying to make light of the shit. No, that's, you know what I'm saying? Lighten up the joint. But yeah, seriously though, fuck Robert Kelly forever. And then some.
And all the lives that he affected.
And all the lives he affected. And a long list of other shitheads out here. But yeah, man. Shout out to Aaron Hall.
Hey, so in a nutshell,
he was a pretty fucked up human being.
Fuck the people that hurt people.
Yeah.
And fuck the people that hurt the people that hurt people to make them hurt people.
That part. That's a great way to wrap it. You know what I'm saying? Look at you. Sherm.
You know what I'm saying?
Happy New Year, Sherm.
Hey, man, I'm trying to do something different this year, man. Sherm. Here on out, man.
You know what I'm saying? Look, even your wife on there. Facts. You know what I'm saying? You know you wanted to add more to that text facts. That's my baby right there. That's my, oh my God. P.S. Jeffrey, man. That's a whole other episode.
Man.
But look, man, we are.
Hey, duh. Oh, yeah. That's what we gonna do.
Yeah, man. We have a political show one day.
So look, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. Like in terms of politics and so many other like subjects that we could get into.
Thanks, Andre. I got like 7 fire emojis.
You know what I'm saying? Out here winning, Sherm. So we gotta go though. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Patreon.com/substantial. we are going to see how this audio came out and all of that, and we're going to see if we're a step closer to at least getting the podcast going, which is a bit easier to run than us going live all the time. But I'm just saying that we got some research to do with the encoder and all of that. Yeah,
that's going to need to end up being where the phone is.
Yeah, because that joint was red. It's a whole lot of fire. But we're going to work it out. Yeah, we live. Him live. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we got to go.
Johnny said audio was legit. And yes, Josh, this is absolutely water. The first 2 bottles were not, but this is absolutely water, man.
But yo, we got to go. We will catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Man. Peace. I'm about to click it over here like I ain't have to run it from my phone.
Old school shit. Old school viewers remember this shit.
All right, distract them, fellas. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna trip on
we got to go. Y'all have a good one.
We haven't done this in so long. I don't know what to do.
I know, right? But I don't know where to put my hands.
What to do with
what do I do?